Okay, so how do we enable RSVP? Well, the first thing to note is that most of the RSVP commands aren't actually under the Stanza protocol's RSVP. The commands that are there tend to be just interface based, bandwidth on a particular interface, authentication over that link. Most of the commands are actually inside the MPLS stanza, and this is where we see our admin groups. So we're going to define our admin groups. Here we basically have a color label and what we call an affinity number. And it's the affinity number that is really used by the traffic engineering database to select or reject and prune various links inside the topological database for the constrained shortest path first calculation. So we could either reject or accept green, reject or accept red, or a combination of the two. Here on AE0, we can see that both red and green are applied. So under MPLS and under the interface, we can actually apply these admin groups with, of course, the associated affinity numbers. And then down here, we specify our actual label switch paths. We're trying to put a 2 in the middle of our definitions of these paths to separate the label switch path itself from over here, a path that will run on the LSP and help define it. So here we are. Obviously, we need a destination IP address because, of course, an explicit root object is going to be created by the CSPF database, and that is going to be sent down the path and then effectively turned around, and the bandwidth and path allocated on the way back. Okay, so once we've defined two LSPs here, R1 to R8 and R1 to R6, we can then attach the admin groups. So here we're saying include any green. So you might have green, red, purple here. As long as one of those colours is there, it'll be accepted. If one of those colours isn't there, it won't be accepted. So this path here, for example, could not be used. Okay then, so what do we have over on this side? Well, on this side, we have some sort of static IPs and nodes that the path really should go through. Now they can be attached in a loose fashion, so they don't have to go in order, from one static to the other, or they can be, quite specific that you must go in the following order. So you have these two paths, path 1 and path 2, and below it we have two LSPs. You can see that on one LSP we have path 1 as primary, and on the other LSP we have path 2 as primary. And so this is like a static type setup, and this is using the admin groups. And of course you can combine them. So here in the pinky purple, set protocol MPLS, label switch path, we're looking at the R8 to R3 1. And what we're saying is also admin group include any red. So we're going from R8 to R3. Now if we were including any red, we couldn't use this path here. So we'd immediately have a problem. So in this case here, and this isn't in our example, this command in pink, just putting the two together. We've got a path, primary path 1 that says go 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, so it all looks good, except now include any red and we're in trouble. But there may be another path around here, of course that doesn't include 1, 2, 3, so it's just probably not going to work.